Hello everyone, welcome to Code Warriors. Today we are at the day 18 out of 21 days of ML. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you all. You have successfully completed day 17 till now, and you are coming with us a long way. So today we are going to discuss about one mini project that will be of classification. But wait a second, guys. This project will not be like earlier we had conducted. In earlier projects, we write the code and then we explain the code to you. But here I am going to write all the code along with you, and I will show how what approach I use to write the code. So you can follow me along with the project. So let's start today's session of classification mini project. So today we are going to work on the iris dataset. First of all, let's search about iris dataset. What is iris dataset? Let's see in Kaggle. As you can see, this dataset is available in Kaggle. You can download from here. It's just 15 KB data. Now we want to explore the data, so we can scroll down and you can read from here the different descriptions about the data, who has researched and made public this dataset and all everything. And the columns that are included in dataset are ID, that is not of our views, sepal length in centimeter, sepal width in centimeter, petal length in centimeter, and petal width in centimeter. And from these four columns, we are going to predict which species is of the flower. Okay. So you can see the whole data is given over here, and the dataset size is 150 rows. Means first 50, let's explore the data over here. First 50 column is of iris. Let's move to the top. First 50 first 50 rows is of iris setosa. The next 50 is of iris versicolor, and last 50 is of iris virginica. So we need to predict which species these details belong to. I hope you are clear how to download the data set. You can download from here clearly. Now I had already downloaded that data set, and guys, this time we are using Colab. Why Colab? Because we don't need to install any software, third party tool. You can directly go to Google and write Google Colab, and you will be just signing your Google account and you will be redirected to here. So let's upload our data set. First of all, you will have a screen something like this, and to upload your data, go to this folder icon, and here you can see this plus option. Go to plus option, and you can see here we can upload our data. So you can, here is iris.csv. So you can upload this data. As you can see, we had got our data set over here. So I am going to divide this section into 3 to 4 parts. So just a second, guys. First part will be, let me write. First is it is iris data set classification. Okay. If you are enjoying this, what you can say, animation that you are seeing on my screen, you can also enable this by going to tools, settings, and over here you can see you can choose that into dark, and in miscellaneous you can pick anything you want, like here, and in editor also you can enable these options that I had already enabled. Okay. So you can also enable the animations that I had included. Here our problem is iris data classification, and I am going to divide this problem into several steps. So let's start with first step. First will be importing the data. As we have already downloaded our data, so now first step will be importing the data. Then second step will be dividing the data into independent and dependent features. So this is our second step, where we will split our data into X and Y column. That is our features and labels. That is also known as our independent and dependent features. So after doing this step, we have one thing to note, guys. I had already told you that we only need, what we can say, numeric in our machine learning project. But here, as I shown you, that in this data set, the species column is categorical. So third step, we need to transform our categorical data into numeric. So this is our third step we are going to perform. Now we had got all the data, sorry, we had got all the data in numeric form. Sorry, here I had misspelled. So after getting all the data in numeric form, then we can move further and split our data set into train and test. Okay. So we will keep some data for training and we will use the test data set, that is unseen data set, to our model to evaluating our model. This is our fourth step, and our fifth step will be training our model. We will use different models to train our data. Sorry, we will use different algorithms to train our model and see which model works best on this type of problem. And then last and sixth step will be evaluating our evaluating our model. So in this step, we will make a confusion matrix and we will see how this works, how our prediction is, what is the accuracy of our model, like this one. So guys, here I had made some small changes in this markdown part. I had used here one hash, so this means it's a heading. Hash indicates the heading, then BR to break the line. As you can see, this will be look like this in the right side part. This is the preview pane. So I will use shift plus enter to run this part. And now whatever I had written is displayed over here. So first of all, we will import some important libraries before running our code. First library we will be importing is NumPy. Second library we will be importing is Pandas. NumPy is used for numerical operations and Pandas is used for importing the dataset. So I will run this part. Now I will make a variable named dataset and I will use pd dot. Our dataset is in CSV format, so use, sorry, spelling mistake, pd dot read underscore CSV. You can see the suggestions is already pop out from here. And here I will pass the name of the dataset, that is iris.cs. So let's run this part. Now our data, sorry, there is one file error. Okay, let me see. I think I is capital over here. So let me write like this. Yes, now as you can see now the error had gone because I was capital over here. It is case sensitive and I had by mistakenly written it small. So now we have successfully imported our dataset. Let's peek into the top 5 rows of the dataset. So I can use dot head function for that. As you can see, the top five rows are displayed over here. So after picking into top 5 rows of the dataset, we can also view by code the number of unique columns in species. What we can do for that? First, let's write the dataset name, then the column name. What is column name? Column name is species, and then we will use the function value underscore counts. So as you can see in the output here, we have 3 different types of species, that is Iris virginica, Iris versicolor, and Iris setosa. Every one of the different category contains 50, 50, 50 rows. So if you can also use dot describe method to see. Let me run this part also. If you run dot describe, you can see the insights of our dataset, but you will see only numerical insights. As species is categorical, you can't see it over here. So this was just some basic operations you can perform with your dataset, and there are a bunch of methods available in Pandas. You can pick and learn something from that. So now let's split our dataset into 2 parts, that is independent and dependent. We will name our independent variable as X. So we will first write the name of our dataset, then we will use ilog method because we know the number of columns we are using index of column. So I will use column. Column means all the rows. And now I will use column. Which columns we want? We don't want to include ID column. Let's speak into dataset again. We want only sepal length, sepal width, petal length, and petal width. So we want first index to fourth index. So I will write 1 colon 5 over here. Similarly, for y that is dependent variable, I will use last index. What is our last index? We can directly use -1 to point out to the last index. So let's run this part. Now let's see our x part. You can see we had got all the 4 columns that we were looking for in independent part. And similarly, if you go into y part, you will see the dependent part. Okay. Now this and this both are, let's see the type of x. It's still a data frame, but as you know, we want to input in NumPy array. So we can use here dot values. If we will use dot values method, then this method will convert this data frame into NumPy arrays. Let's run this part. As you can see, we are getting a error over here. Let me figure out. Yes, so I got the error. We don't, this is a attribute, so we don't need parenthesis over here. Now let's run this again. And now you can see that the error is gone. So let's again type of x. Now you can see that it is an NumPy array now. So now we can move forward for our further steps. As I told you earlier that our y is categorical value. So we need to convert this y into numeric value. So for that, what we can do, we can use label encoder. I had told you in previous tutorials also, we can use from sklearn dot pre-processing module, we can import label binarizer. So what label binarizer do? It will perform both one-hot encoding as well as label encoding. If you don't know what is label encoding and one-hot encoding, let me take an example and explain you this part. For example, suppose there are two categories, that is male and female. So what label encoder will do? Label encoder will just give them one integer value. For example, 0 for male and 1 for female. And wherever in our data set this category will occur, and it will provide this integer value. And what one hot encoding will do? It will make 2 columns, one column of male and one column of female. So let me remove this part. Before performing one hot encoding, it is compulsory to perform label encoding. So as we had performed label encoding, let's suppose the male column is 0 and female column is 1. And whenever there will be a male column, then here the value will be 1 and the value at female will be 0. So similarly, wherever we will encounter the label, the same column will be indicated as 1. For example, in 50th row, there is female, and in 51st row, it is male. So in 50th row, there will be 0 in male and 1 in female because the output is female. And similarly, in 51st, there will be 1 in male and 0 with female. So we will make 2 columns like this only, and wherever male will occur, the male column will contain 1, and wherever female label will occur, female column will contain 1. So this is the basic part of one hot encoding. And in label binarizer, we are performing both label encoding and one hot encoding continuously, or we can say one after another. So let's make an object of label binarizer, lb equal to label binarizer. Now we need to choose the column in which we want to transform. Here our variable is y, so y equal to lb dot. We need to use fit transform method. And we need to pass which column we want to convert. In y we had only one column, so let's pass to y. Now run this part. Now let's speak into y. Now, as you can see, I told you earlier that it will make the number of columns equal to the number of categories you have. As we had seen, we had three categories. So all the categories is one column. And for I had shown you in the data set that first 50 column is of Iris setosa. Okay. The next 50, wait a minute, let me scroll. Next is versicolor, and last one is virginica. So first column is of setosa, and you can see in first 50 only setosa is one, rest all are zero. Similarly, in next 50 versicolor is one and rest all are zero, and last 50 virginica is one and rest all are zero. So we can conclude that first column is of setosa, second column is of versicolor, and last column is of virginica. So I hope you are clear how this performs, how label encoding and one hot encoding works. So now let's move forward. Now we had successfully converted our categorical value into numeric value. Now our next step is to split. Let's go to our step part. We had completed first, second and third part. Now we need to split our dataset into train and test. So for splitting our dataset, we need to import from sklearn dot model selection. So this is the package or module from where we need to import test, train test. Here is the name of the class we need to import, that is train test split. So after importing this, we need to, as you all know, we need to initialize it. So first of all, here we will need four variables because we need to divide x into x train and x test, and similarly y into y train and y test. So I will write here x train, then comma, then x test, then y train, then y test. So these are the four variables that will be returned by this function, and we will write the name of class train test split. First argument will be the independent column, that is x. Second will be the dependent, that is y. Then the next argument is test size. So let's write test size. And this argument we have to specify the ratio in which we want to split. For example, I want 80% training and 20% testing. So I will write test size as 0.2. And last argument is random state. Random state is compulsory, not compulsory, sorry. We need to specify this argument so that the number of times I run this program, same data will be in the test set and train set. So it will be beneficial. And I can set any number. Let's suppose 0. I will use 0. So these are the four important arguments. Let's send this part. Now we can see X train. We can see first 5 columns. Let's see. Here, as you can see, we had X train first 5 column. Sorry, first 4 column, because 0 here it will print 0 to 4, and as we had only 4 column, it will display only 4 column. So similarly, we can see X test and Y train and Y test all are created successfully. Now we had completed our fourth part of the model. Now moving forward, we need to train our model. Let's suppose I will start with random forest. From for that we need to use ensemble, sklearn.ensemble. We need to import random forest regression. Sorry, classify. So after importing this class, we need to create an object. Let's name it classifier, and then random forest, then name of the class, random forest classifier. Then we need to pass one important argument, that is an estimator. That is the number of tree you want to include. If you are not aware with this part, you can watch the previous day's video because we had explained this very clearly. So I am going to use 100 trees. Okay. So after that, we need to fit our data, that is classifier dot fit x train and x, sorry, y train. So let's run this part. Now our model is created. So let's see how it performs on test set. For that, we will predict using classifier dot predict, and here we will pass our testing data x test. So here YPRED contains the all the predictions of testing data. Now we need to compare it with YTest so that we can know the score of our model. So for that we will use one another sklearn library, that is sklearn dot metrics. Let's first try with confusion matrix. So let's make an object of confusion matrix. Now we need to pass here first our prediction, then pass YPRED, and here let's speak into YPRED. As you can see, YPRED is a array over here, but we want only one value, so we can use argmax over here. YPRED dot np dot argmax. Argmax will just return the column which contain one. So we want that only. So we will use np dot, and here we will np dot argmax, and we will pass YPRED, and we want column wise. So we will use axis equal to 1. And similarly for our YTest. So let me copy this part. And we will paste over here. And instead of YPRED, we will use YTest. Now let's run this part. I hope no error. Yes, so we don't got any error. Now we need to print CM. So this is our confusion matrix. As we can say, hooray, we don't got any error. Our accuracy is 100%. So we can also print our accuracy. What does our model's accuracy is that? But as you can see in this confusion matrix, how we can know that we don't got any error? The diagonal matrix, the diagonal here, diagonal of this matrix is the correct prediction, and rest other elements are the error. As you can see, all other elements other than diagonals are 0, so we don't have any incorrect prediction. This means, so this model is very good according to our judgment, according to the confusion matrix. Similarly, we can also print the accuracy. So let's now print the accuracy of model. So for accuracy, we need to import one more class, that is accuracy score. Let's import it over here, accuracy score. And similarly, we need to store in one variable. And let's copy the same code. Just we need to change the function name. So now change confusion matrix with accuracy. Accuracy underscore. So let's run this part. Sorry, we got one error. Accuracy. Oh, okay. I forgot to run this part, so this is not important. Now we can run this part successfully. So now let's print the accuracy score. You can see we got 100% accuracy. So this was a very beginner problem for classification. So I chose this problem so that you can be familiar with how to make a classification project or model. And this is the 18th day of 21 days of ML. So now you will uh, be familiar with in the last project, you will be familiar with the end-to-end project where we will teach you how to deploy this project also over the internet. So you just need to share one URL and your friends can run your model by passing the data. And for that, you need to stay tuned for us till the last day. And if you have any query, you can write in the comment section. And I had provided my LinkedIn profile in the description. You can connect me for any of your doubts. Feel free to ask me if you have any queries. Until then, keep learning, keep supporting us, and stay safe at home. Thank you.